and welcome back to Module 1, Lesson 2, which is all about setting realistic goals. So in this module, I am going to walk you through my goal setting process, and then your action step after that is going to be going into the file section, which should be below this video to the right, and go through my goal setting worksheet. Complete all of the steps so you can actually, what we're going to be talking about is a way of setting goals where you can actually achieve them. They're going to stay top of mind, and it's going to be a little bit different than probably what you've heard in the past. So please fill out that goal setting worksheet and make sure to do the journal prompts that will also be in the file section as well in the day-to-day, so we can help keep this priority and top of mind for you going forward. So in this section, like I said, we're going to talk through my process, and then I'm also going to review just a few journal prompts that I go through in the day-to-day to, again, help keep this top of mind and a priority for you and keep you in the right mindset. Okay, so number one is we have to get super, super clear on what our goal actually is. We can't work towards something if we don't know exactly what we're working towards, if we don't know exactly where we're going. I always use the example of a GPS. If we just said we're going on a trip, would we ever end up where we want to go? Probably not. And if we did, it's going to take us a whole lot longer. Our brain needs clarity to actually envision where the future is, like where you're actually headed. So it's so important that you get crystal clear on what your actual goal is. I want to lose 10 pounds by this time. This is why. All of the details that you can think of. What is it going to feel like? What is your life going to be like when you're there? The more that you can visualize that now, the better off you're going to be and the more success you're going to have. Our brain actually doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So the more time you can spend in that place of already having accomplished the goal, the more that you're going to take actions in the present tense now. The second piece is actually after you've gotten really clear on what you want to accomplish is we want to identify our why. That is our intrinsic motivation. It is the fuel for every single action you are going to take in the day-to-day basis. Our intrinsic motivation is the best motivation you can ever have because we only need us to create it. Unlike new gym clothes, a better workout, a workout buddy, all the other things we talk about that we need for motivation. And I have a whole section on motivation because I have a lot of thoughts and things to share on that. But our intrinsic motivation is the best kind we're ever going to have because we just remind ourselves of it and it's either there or it's not. So our why is the way that we do that. And I encourage you, which is on the worksheet, to come up with 5 to 10 reasons why you want this and make sure that they really resonate with you and they create an action driving emotion in your body when you say them. Usually when you make your full list, think of as many reasons as you can, you get to one that it's like, oh, yeah, that is why I want this. And it's something you can repeat in the day-to-day. I encourage thinking of a few times during your day, put reminders in your phone, put post-its on your mirror, whatever you have to do to work these thoughts into your brain regularly so you cannot forget them. So they are now your habitual thinking versus the thinking that we currently have as we went through in the mindset section, which is driving all the actions that you're taking. So the third step that you're going to do is visualize. We want to visualize ourselves in the place where we have already accomplished this goal. We want to spend time every single day intentionally in the place of your future self. As I mentioned before, because our brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So once it believes that we actually are that person, the identity shift is so much easier. And the identity shift is what we actually need to create that sustainable, lasting action versus those temporary or inconsistent results, because our thinking drives all things. So the sooner that we can start thinking and feeling like that person who has accomplished the goal, the easier it's going to be to accomplish it, and the quicker we're going to be able to get there. So we want to spend time every single day visualizing ourselves. How do we feel? How do we think? What are we doing? What are we not doing once we accomplish that goal? So third is we really have to make a full decision and commitment to our goal, to ourselves, but also to the process, to as long as it takes, to pivoting, to being flexible, to doing all the things. And if you're kind of hesitant here, question why, because this is so crucial. I'll talk later on. Commitment and clarity is really what helps us be consistent. Commitment plus clarity equals consistency. So if we're hesitant at all here, we're likely going to have a hard time being consistent in the day-to-day. So check in with yourself. Where is your level of commitment? And are you making a full decision to go all in with whatever it takes, regardless of how inconvenient, uncomfortable, how many times you have to pivot, how patient you have to be to reach your goals? Are you really all in for that? And if not, why not? And be completely honest with yourself, because if the answer is not really, that's totally okay. Maybe this is not the right time or it's not the right goal. So that's really, really key. The other piece of this is when we make the decision ahead of time with our prefrontal cortex, which is the logical decision making strategic part of our brain, it's a lot easier to follow through with things later on when our primal brain just wants to do what's comfortable and fun in the moment, which isn't always what's going to get us to our results. It's likely what we're doing now. So when we plan ahead of time and we have steps we want to take, we have actions we want to be doing, and we've decided 100% beforehand that we're going to do them no matter what, it's a whole lot easier to override that primal brain when you get into it in the moment. So that's where deciding ahead of time on, yes, the plan, but also the goal, and that you're committing to yourself helps you so much better in the long run as well. So then we, of course, are going to make our plan, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on. And then when you make your plan, you also always want to start thinking about the obstacles you're going to come up against. And then we want to brainstorm strategies for all of those obstacles. So as you're going through this, and you can use the same goal setting worksheet that's going to be here when we start talking about what we're going to be eating, you can add that into your plan, but also you can add in the section of what are all the perceived obstacles that you think you're going to face and strategize for them right on that same worksheet. But that's all part of the process. And then lastly is we want to make it part of our daily process to be reviewing our goals and our motivation for accomplishing them. Because the more, again, that we spend time in that place, that we visualize, that we keep these things top of mind, we are showing to our brain, our thinking drives all things, remember how important these are to us. They are priorities, and making that intentional commitment to focus on them every single day. Because I don't know about you guys, I may have already said this, but I've had goals that I literally get halfway through the year and find like my crumpled up piece of paper that said I wanted to do something. I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot I even wanted to do that. So if this is truly a priority to you and something you're really committed to, we likely do have to keep it top of mind in the beginning because it's something new we're working towards, or we may be working on it in a different way. So your action going forward from this video is to complete that goal setting worksheet and also work on daily journal prompts, which I will also include in the file section for you as well. And the daily goal journal prompts that I likely will include for you are going to be writing out your goals every single day, spending time thinking about your why and your motivation. Why do you actually want to accomplish this? Spending time in that visualizing, just a couple minutes for each of these things. What does it feel like when you get there? What are you thinking? What are you doing in the day to day? What do you need to be doing, from here to there to get there? And then lastly is going to be, I'm drawing a complete blank here, but it'll be on your journal prompts that is included in the file section. The last thing I want to mention here too is when you make a decision to go all in on a goal or something new that you are accomplishing, the word decide actually on the Latin root of it means to cut off, which I think is super interesting, because a lot of times we focus on like what we need to do or add in going forward. But as we shift our identity, because it's truly the key to lasting and sustainable results, there are likely some things that we need to kind of cut out of our lives too. So that's something to think about as your goal setting as well, is like, what are the habits that I no longer will want to keep? What are maybe some of the things I'm doing that I no longer want to be doing? Are there people that I don't want to be spending as much time with because they don't align with the future goal, my future goals, the future me, or maybe less time with? All of those things are things to be thinking about now. What do I want to cut off so I can be the me that I want to be? For me, as I build my business and add more projects that I want to be working on, I don't want to be mindlessly scrolling on social media every single day. So that's a habit that I've significantly cut off and cut out during the day when I'm working on other projects. So again, your action going forward is to complete the goal setting guide, to do the daily journal prompts, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next